This short video will outline our disaster scenario planning process that we can implement with you to help you survive and prosper in any crisis, but specifically the COVID-19 crisis we're currently facing. I'm going to cover the framework that we'll use to establish where you are now, deciding where you need to be or where you can be in the future, and of most importance, how are you going to get there? The framework we use is called Now, Where, How. This is important because often when we are in a crisis, we think we know where we are today, we put our head down and work really hard on trying to implement a plan without really taking the time to make sure that everyone is working on the correct plan. If we take a few extra minutes to determine your true current situation, the now, where you want to be in the future, even if it's a short period such as 90 days, then we can help determine how you can bridge that gap. The starting point for the now analysis is to use diagnostics. We have around 20 of them at our disposal, but we'll probably need only 2 or 3 of them to help identify the real underlying issues in your organization. We need the core issues, not the symptoms. If we chase symptoms, we'll never be able to get to the part of fixing the problems. We also need to know what the challenges are because they tend to be the roadblocks. We also need to know what your specific urgent concerns are because you know your organization and industry far better than we will, and we need to draw on that experience. There are always opportunities in any situation, but sometimes they're hard to find. But if they're there, we need to find them. Once we have the now analysis worked out, the next thing is to work out where you're going to be. As I mentioned earlier, that can be just a 90-day time frame for some organizations. The first step is to look at the current vision that you have for the organization. Then we look at how COVID-19 is impacting that vision. Then we look at 3 potential scenarios because we have to make sure that you are as prepared as possible for whatever is coming. For some organizations, they might find themselves currently in low severity, where there is minimal disruption and it's almost business as usual. For others, it might be medium severity, where it's impacting between 10 to 20% of revenue, impacting cash, impacting capacity, if people are away sick or tending to family members who are sick, and there are many risks to be dealt with. For those in the high severity scenario, this is the disaster scenario, where they're experiencing over 50% of revenue loss. We need to address what the plans will be no matter what scenario the organization is facing. To help us get structure to that, we use what's called the PESTLE factors. They're really just a checklist of issues to be covered so you don't leave anything out. PESTLE stands for political, economic, social, technological, environment, and legal. This ensures that whatever you do, you've considered all of those factors. Next, we help you work out how you're going to respond to the COVID-19 scenarios. The first step is to work out, is the plan capable of success under each of the 3 scenarios we just went through? What are the things that could stop you? We have a change success model to increase the probability of success of the change initiative from 30% to 80%. We'll use that information so that whatever you do has the greatest chance for success. We also help you identify what the key urgent issues are for the next 7 to 30 days, and they will get top priority. What are you going to do if the severity escalates? There are 3 key factors to consider. There are more, but these are the most important ones. The first one is risk. We help you identify and work out ways of mitigating that risk. We have a tool for that called FMEA. If costs need to be reduced in the organization, we have a series of profit improvement waste reduction tools to remove waste from the business and identify specifically where. Then growth. Don't be surprised to find that there are ample opportunities to grow, maybe in areas you haven't thought of before. We have a range of tools for doing just that. We use the growth model, product portfolio, and force field tools to accomplish that. So how is the plan documented? The objective is to collect all of those core actions into a clear 1-page plan to get you through the next 30 days. Then this process is repeated. In other words, the plan is rolled over every 30 days. To ensure that the plan remains current, you may need weekly reviews from your war room, those that are working on the survival plan. Communicate your plan to various stakeholders as you deem appropriate, such as employees, customers, bankers, and suppliers. We then use objective and key results, or KPIs, key performance indicators, to make sure there is accountability for all actions in the plan. You must be prepared to pivot or modify the strategy or plan as you get more insight, information, and data around the issues. And we need to lock in accountability between you and us as your trusted advisor to help you navigate through this over the next few months. The next steps are, we need to set a time, place, and a format because we may not be able to meet face-to-face, but we can meet virtually if needed. Decide who will be involved in this process. We will help you develop the plan using the process I just outlined. Review the plan weekly, adapting and pivoting as you go. We will survive and prosper together. We are here to help. Here is our contact information. We look forward to working with you during this time of change and opportunity.